Anytime they're ready. I'm ready.
5, 6, 7, 8. Our school is what? Red Hot. Our school is what? Red Hot. Our school is R-E-D-H-O-T. Red Hot.
Kings Who Read started 4 years ago when I first became the executive director and superintendent of Roseville Community Charter School. It was an initiative, a literacy initiative that was started for 2 reasons. One reason was our test scores with regard to English and language arts. I wanted something that was going to promote a love of reading amongst our scholars. The second reason was because we wanted to have more male presence with regard to participation in their children's learning. So this initiative was a brainchild that just happened to fall around the time of Dr. King's birthday. And so I thought, what better way to maybe promote a love of reading, which, by the way, if you don't know this, you should. Dr. King was an avid reader, and he was a really strong advocate for public education. So I wanted to make sure that it was an opportunity for us to highlight those who are really his legacy, and that's the men of our own communities. So Kings Who Read was born from all of that we wanted to accomplish. And since then, it's really taken off. And now we have men who are dads, granddads, uncles, cousins, big brothers, who can't wait to come. And they ask, when is Kings Who Read? Because I want the opportunity to read to my child's class. We also have presence from within the community. So we'll have the chief of our fire department here in Newark. We have councilmen who came today. We have the president of the New Jersey Public Charter Schools Association, Harry Lee. So we have the superintendent of Newark Public Schools. And although we might not be a part of Newark Public Schools, we are in the city of Newark. And so him coming really shows his commitment to the children of the city. And so we appreciate that. So I just want to, just highlight the fact that we have a lot of our fathers who bring their children to school, who pick their children up from school, and that doesn't get acknowledged enough. And so we wanted to also have an opportunity for our fathers to be highlighted, and in a positive way. Another thing that was really important is that we want our children to see grown-ups reading. Right? We can't say that reading is important, but yet our children never see us read a book. And that's in particular with regard to the importance of men reading to their children. And maybe it is a bit of a stereotype where you might say that women or moms are the ones who read to children, but not true. Dads read too. And so when we invite our fathers in, it becomes a model by which they can see, because we know that the visual is super strong in terms of it being impactful. So we can say it, but when we show it, it means even more.
What? What? Now that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Hello. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my fine young scholars. How are you, Emmy?
Good.
You good? How are you, Emily? Hey, Rozelle.
How did he know all your names?
Talik. What's up? What's up, Eric? And that's E-R-I-C-K, Eric, right? My name is Dupre Kelly, Councilman of the West Ward. You know what a councilman is?
No.
Well, a councilman is somebody who works in government to help create laws for the community so we can all live better in our communities. And I am the councilman of the West Ward of Newark, New Jersey. Who can say Newark, New Jersey?
Newark, New Jersey!
Who can say Newark, New Jersey? Now say R, E, A, D. What does that spell?
Read.
Read. Read. Say read. 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 Kings who read. That's right. You see my nice crown? You like my crown?
Yeah.
But guess what? All of you have on an invisible crown. Yes, you do. You know why? Because you're a king, you're a queen, you're a king. It's all young kings and queens in here. How many people love music? I love music. Who's your favorite artist? Who's your favorite artist? So I want to introduce you by book, by reading about a famous musician. And his name, his first 4 letters of his name are the first 2 of my first and the first 2 of my last. Can you tell me what his first name is? What? It's the first 2 of my name, my first name, and the first 2 of my last name.
So you got this, and you got this. I know you think Councilman's his first name, but D-U-K-E.
So what's his first name? Duke. Not Duck. It's Duke. His name is Duke Ellington. Can you say Duke? Ellington. So when I say Duke, you say Ellington. Duke. Duke. That's right. Now Duke Ellington is in this book, which is made by Andrea Davis Pinkney, and it's illustrated by Brian Pinkney. Now Duke Ellington, what is he doing on this right now? What is he doing? Playing piano. How does it look when you play piano? Everybody play piano. That's right. Oh, I like how Emmy's playing piano like this. That's how you play piano. So Duke Ellington, they called him the Piano Prince. So that means royalty's in the room. Because this is kings and queens who read, right? So a prince and a princess, they're part of the royal family, right? So the Piano Prince and his orchestra. You see his orchestra? What is he doing?
He's leading them.
What is he doing right here, though? What is he playing?
Playing
How does a trumpet, what does a trumpet sound make? That's right. That's right. So you ever hear of the jazz playing man? The man with the cats who could swing his band? He was born in 1899. That's a long time ago. In Washington, D.C. Born Edward Kennedy Ellington. He was born Edward Kennedy Ellington. Kenneth. Kennedy. It's kind of kin. You might have some Duke Ellington in your blood. Duke's name fit him rightly. He was a smooth-talking, slick-stepping, piano-playing kid. But his piano playing wasn't always as breezy as his stride. When Duke's mother, Daisy, and his father, J.E., enrolled him in piano lessons, Duke didn't want to go. Baseball was Duke's idea of fun. Who loves baseball? I love baseball, but I also love music. You like basketball? Nice. Duke had to start with piano lessons. Basic. His fingers playing the same tired tune. 1 and a 2 and a 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 1 and a 2. That's right. Daisy and J.E. made Duke practice day after day. Now, how many days does your teacher say, do it again?
16,000.
That's right. But guess what? After the 17,000th time, you got it. Right? What does that mean? Practice makes.
Perfect.
That's right. So Duke practiced, and to Duke, that 1 and a 2 wasn't music. He called it an umpity dump, sound that was headed nowhere worth following. He quit his lessons and kissed that piano fast goodbye. Whoa. You gotta keep trying until you get it. That's right, Kason. Years later, on a streaming summer night, Duke heard that umpity dump played in a whole new way. Folks called the music ragtime. Piano that turned umpity dump into a soul-rousing rump. You see that cloud of music around Duke Ellington's head? Do you ever wake up and feel like you got a cloud around your head? No? Yeah, no? And then you ever come to school, come to class, and you talk to your teacher, and sometimes you don't get it, and then, oh, you got it? You ever get it sometimes? Doesn't it feel good when you get it?
Yeah.
Right. The ragtime music set Duke's fingers to wiggling. Let me see your fingers wiggle. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Okay. Soon he was back at the piano, trying to plunk out his own ragtime rhythm. And a 1, and a 2, and a 1, and a
2, and a 1, and a 2, and a 1, and a 2.
That's right. And at first, this was the only crude tickling Duke knew.
He did it?
That's the only one he knew, a 1 and a 2. But with practice, can you say that? But with practice, all Duke's fingers rolled the piano keys. Duke started to play his own made-up melodies, whole notes, chords, sharps and flats, left-handed hops and right-handed slides. Anybody in here left-handed?
Yes. It's only one. Thank you. Put your hands down.
Who's the left-hander?
Roselle Taylor.
Rozelle. That's right. You're left-handed. Where's my right-handed people? That's right. Now, when you can use both hands, do you know what that's called? What is that called? It's called ambidextrous. I know that's a big word, right? That's a big word. We'll tell your teacher to tell you about that later, okay? Believe it. Duke taught himself to press on the pearlies like nobody else could. His 1 and a 2 and umpity dump became a thing of the past. Now, playing the piano was Duke's all-time love. When Duke was 19, he was entertaining ladies and gents at parties, pool halls, country clubs, and cabarets. He had fine as pie good looks and flashy threads. How many of y'all are good looking? All of y'all are good looking. He was a ladies' man with flair to spare. And whenever a pretty-skinned beauty leaned on Duke's piano, he played his best music. Composition smoother than a hairdo, sleek with pomade. Anybody know what pomade is? How many people use grease in their hair? Their mother used grease in their hair? My mother used to use grease to put my eyebrows down. All that is pomade. It wasn't long before Duke formed his own small band, a group of musicians who played all over Washington, D.C. Where's the White House? Anybody knows what a White House is?
No.
Where's the White House? In D.C., Washington, D.C. But soon, they split the D.C. scene and made tracks for New York City, for Harlem, USA, the place where jazz music ruled. They called themselves the Washingtonians and performed in all kind of New York City honky-tonks. Barron's Exclusive, The Plantation, Cyro's, and the Kentucky Club. Folks got to know the band by name and came to hear them play. What are they getting on right here? What are they getting on, huh? Huh, Roy? They're getting on the train. What do they have in their hands?
Chicken.
Huh, Bradley? Huh? Drums. And what's that? What? Instruments. That's right. The Cotton Club.
Cotton. That almost says cotton candy.
The cotton, not the Cotton Candy Club. But the Cotton Club. This is a famous place in New York City, in Harlem. Then on an autumn day in 1927, Lady Luck smiled pretty on the Washingtonians. They were asked to play at the Cotton Club, Harlem's swankiest hangout, a big-time night spot. The Cotton Club became a regular gig for Duke and his band. They grew to 12 musicians and changed their name to Duke Ellington and his orchestra. 12 musicians. How many people are in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 20? Is it 20?
Two people are absent.
Okay. 2 people are absent. All right, all right. You guys are some smart guys. The Cotton Club became a regular gig for Duke Ellington. They grew into 12 new musicians. Night after night, they played their music, which was broadcast live over the radio. How does the radio sound in the car? Yep, that's how it sounds. For all of those homebodies out in radio lovers land, folks who only dreamed of sitting pretty at the Cotton, the show helped them feel like they were out of the town. Duke's Creole love call was spicier than a pot of jambalaya. This mood indigo was a musical stream that swelled over the airwaves. You play the radio in the car? You play the radio when you're in the car with your parents? Yeah?
Go ahead. Show us what you do.
That's right. Bad Bunny. That's one of the most popular artists in the world.
I put that too.
Yeah?
Me too.
I like Bad Bunny. So sometimes the orchestra performed their tunes straight up. But some other nights, when the joint started to jump, Duke told his band to play whatever came to mind, to improvise their solos, to make the music fly, and they did. Each instrument raised its own voice, one by one. Each cat took the floor and wiped it clean with his own special way of playing. Sonny Greer pounded out the bang of jump rope feet on the street with his snare drum, a subway beat on his bass drum, a sassy ride on his cymbal. Sonny's percussion was smooth and steady. Sometimes only his drumsticks made the music, cracking out the rattling beat of wood slapping wood. How many can just make a beat on there? That's what they did. Along with Sonny, Joe Tricky Sam Nathan went to work on his trombone, sliding smooth melodic gold. He stretched the notes to their full tilt, pushing and pulling their tropical lilt. When Tricky Sam was through, he'd nod to Otto Toby Hardwick. Your turn, he'd say. Take the floor, Daddy-O. What is he doing? What is he doing? What is he playing? What is that instrument?
Trumpet.
That's right, he's playing the horn, right? Yeah? Toby let loose on his sleek brass sax, curling his notes like a kite tail in the wind, a musical loop-de-loop with a serious twist. Last came James. What is he looking at? What is that? A boat, right. And what is that? So he's looking at a boat at night, right? By the what? That's right, by the water, right? Last came James, Bubber Miley. Bubber Miley, a one-of-a-kind horn player. He could make his trumpet wail like a man whose blues were deeper than the deep blue sea. To stir up the sound of his low-moan horn, Bubber turned out a growl from way down in his throat. His gut bucket tunes put a spell on the room. Where's your gut? Where's your gut? Let me hear you growl. That's right. I'm assuming he made that type of growl, right? Yeah, those solos were kicking, hot buttered bop, with lots of sassy, cool tones. When the band did their thing, the Cotton Club performers danced the Black Bottom, the Fishtail, and the Susie Q. And while they were cutting the rug, Duke slid the honey-colored fingertips across the ivory 88s. How many of you can dance? Who's the best dancer in here? Who's the best dancer? Ooh, we got a couple of best dancers in here, huh? All right. The word on Duke and his band spread from New York to Macon to Kalamazoo on to the shiny Hollywood Hills. The whole country soon swung to Duke's beat. Once folks got a taste of Duke's soul-sweet music, they hurried to the record stores asking, "You got that, Duke? Slide me some King of the Keys, please. Gonna play me that Piano Prince and his band?" People bought Duke's records, thousands of them. In 1939, Duke hired Billy Strayhorn, a musician who wrote songs. Billy became Duke's ace, his main man. Who has a main man in here? What does that mean, to have a main man? I'm your main man, Bradley. Well, you my main man. I'm your main man. What does main man mean? Huh, Carlos? Who has a best friend? What's your best friend name, Carlos?
Kason.
Kason.
I'll start with a C.
Kason with a C.
Me too.
And Carlos with a C. That means that's your main man, huh? That's right. That's your main man. So Duke and Billy worked as a team. Together they composed unforgettable music. Billy's song, "Take the A Train," was one of the greatest hits of 1941. With the tunes that he and Billy wrote, Duke painted colors with his band's sound. How many know what colors are? You know what colors are, right?
Red, orange, yellow, green.
What's your favorite color, Kason?
Golden, peach,
Peach
and gold.
and gold. I like gold too. And you, Marianne?
Pink.
Pink. Ah, you always like peach. And how about you, Gianna? Pink and purple. You, Los?
Golden and silver.
Oh, that's because that's your main man. How about you, Eric?
Green and golden.
Golden. What's up with all of the golden? Ah, a little golden. That's not gold?
It is.
Ah, okay, well, it's a little direct. How about you, Yelana? Pink? Pink? How about you, Abdul?
Sky blue and golden silver.
Oh, Saibu and golden. This class is the golden class. How about you, Rozelle?
Rainbow. I said
Rainbow. That's right, cover everything, right? How about you, Royal?
blue and silver.
How about you?
Pink and golden.
Pink and golden. Ashley?
Red and blue.
Red and blue. Emily? Pink. What about you, Ken?
Emerald.
Emerald. That's royalty. You see how my voice got deep? That's royalty. And how about you, Kathleen?
Pink and golden.
Pink and golden. And how about you?
Pink and blue and black and white and gold.
Okay, Bradley.
Gold and shiny blue.
Shiny blue. That's right.
That's the beautiful.
Duke and Billy could swirl that butterscotch tones of Tricky Sam's horn with the silver notes of the alto saxophone and ooh, those clarinets. Duke could blend their red hot blips with a purple dash of brass from the trumpet section. In time, folks in Duke's Ellington real instrument wasn't his piano at all. It was his orchestra. Most people called his music jazz, but Duke called it the music of my people. And to celebrate the history of African American people, Duke composed a special suite he called Black, Brown, and Beige. Can you say that? Black,
Brown and beige.
what?
Black, brown, and beige.
What?
Black, brown, and beige.
That's right. A suite that rocked the bosom and lifted the soul. Black, brown, and beige sang the glories of the dark skin, the pride of African heritage, and the triumphs of black people. From the days of slavery to years of civil rights struggle, Duke introduced Black, Brown, and Beige as the New York's Carnegie Hall, a symphony hall so grand that even the seats wore velvet. Few African Americans had played at Carnegie Hall before. Duke and his orchestra performed on January 23rd, 1943. Outside, he's famous. Outside, the winter wind was cold and slapping, but inside, Carnegie Hall was sizzling with applause. Duke had become a master maestro. Because of Duke's genius, his orchestra now had a musical mix like no other. Now you've heard of the jazz playing man, the man with the cats who could swing with his band, king of the keys, piano prince, Edward Kennedy Ellington, the Duke of the Beats. Edward Kennedy Duke Ellington was born on April 29th, 1899. Whose birthday is in April? Anybody? Bradley, Emily, Eric, your birthday is in April? Well, you share a birthday month with the genius Duke Ellington. He was a forerunner in the evolution of jazz. He composed and played swing music, one of the best-loved jazz forms to grace the American music scene. The roots of jazz encompass several types of music: blues, ragtime, folk music, and marches that originated from the musical traditions of African American people. Since its birth in the early 20th century, jazz has grown to include many styles that remain popular today. In 1927, Duke Ellington and his orchestra began a highly successful engagement at Harlem's renowned Cotton Club, a run that lasted 5 years. By the early 1930s, Duke began to produce complex, original arrangements that resembled the music of classical orchestra, yet were still popular among all kinds of music lovers. Sophisticated Lady and I Got It Bad are among the most memorable. Duke composed some of these tunes together with Billy Strayhorn, which made his band a force to be reckoned with. Duke Orchestra toured the United States and abroad, delighting audiences wherever they went. On January 23, 1943, Duke performed a concert at Carnegie Hall. Through some jazz musicians had played there before. Few, and had elaborated with music like Duke's. Duke wrote Black, Brown, and Beige, right? Black, brown, what?
Black, brown, and beige.
That's right, especially for this event. This composition showed the world that Duke Ellington was an accomplished composer, a symphonic master whose music come to be regarded as beyond category. During the more than 50 years of his celebrated career, Duke wrote and composed at least 1,000 compositions. Some say as many as 5,000, including ballet and film scores, orchestra suites, musicals, and choral works. More of the 800 musicians appeared with his orchestra during his years on the road. Duke Ellington died on May 24th, 1974. So rest in peace to Duke Ellington. But his musical genius is far from gone. His influence on the history of music and on musicians everywhere continues even today, and even today at RCCS. That's right. What's his name?
Duke Ellington.
What's his name?
Duke Ellington.
When I say Duke, you say Ellington. Duke.
Ellington.
Duke.
Ellington.
Thank you, guys.